Welcome to the latest edition of The Intelligent Observer. Subscribe for more insightful content. You've been told that oil is controlled by powerful countries working together, that a group of nations can decide the price of energy, and by extension, the fate of the global economy. But what if I told you that system just cracked? Not with war, not with sanctions, but with one quiet decision. The United Arab Emirates just walked away from OPEC, and almost no one understands what that really means, because this isn't just about oil, this is about control. And if you look closely, this might be one of the biggest geopolitical wins the United States never had to fight for. Segment 2. What just happened? The surface story. For decades, OPEC operated like a cartel, a group of oil-producing nations, led by Saudi Arabia, working together to control supply and influence global oil prices. Cut production, prices go up; flood the market, prices collapse. It was simple, coordinated, powerful, but that power depended on one thing: discipline. Every member had to play along, and that's where the problem began. The UAE spent billions expanding its oil capacity, building the ability to produce far more than its assigned quota. But OPEC wouldn't let them. So imagine this: you invest heavily, you increase your capability, but you're told you cannot use it. At some point, the math stops making sense. And when that happens in geopolitics, countries stop cooperating. They start competing. Segment 3, the real reason: power, not oil. This wasn't just an economic decision, it was a power move. By leaving OPEC, the UAE is sending a message, not just to Saudi Arabia, but to the entire global energy system. We will not be controlled. We will not be capped. We will play by market rules, not cartel rules. And this changes everything, because once one country breaks formation, others start asking the same question: why are we still here? That's how systems collapse. Not all at once, but piece by piece, quietly, gradually, then suddenly. Segment 4. Why the US benefits, the hidden layer. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the United States doesn't need to control oil anymore. It just needs to make sure no one else does. And that's exactly what this achieves. A fragmented OPEC means no unified production cuts, no coordinated price manipulation, no single block controlling global supply. Instead, you get competition. And in a competitive system, the advantage shifts, not to the biggest oil producer, but to the country that controls the system around oil. And that country is the United States. It controls the currency oil is traded in. It controls the financial markets that price it. And it controls the naval power that protects the flow through choke points like the Strait of Hormuz. So even if it doesn't dominate production, it dominates everything else. And that's more powerful. Segment 5. The dangerous future. Most likely versus most dangerous. Now let's take this further, because this is where things split. The most likely outcome: a slower, weaker OPEC, more supply competition, moderate oil prices, a world where energy becomes more market-driven. But the most dangerous outcome: a full breakdown of coordination, countries pumping at will, price wars, volatility, and in that chaos, new alliances form, new power structures emerge. Because when old systems collapse, they don't leave a vacuum. They create a battlefield. Segment 6. Closing. Cliffhanger ending. So the question isn't just, why did the UAE leave OPEC? The real question is, who benefits when the system that controlled oil for decades starts to fall apart? Because if this is the beginning of the end for OPEC, then we are not just watching an economic shift. We are watching the redistribution of global power. And like every shift in history, the winners are not always the ones making the loudest moves, but the ones shaping the game from the shadows.